In this tutorial, you will learn how to turn an exported sitemap from Topo Export into a polished presentation sheet using Rayon Design in under 10 minutes. Links to try both tools for free are available in the description. So let's get started. In the previous tutorial, we learned how to quickly and easily export a sitemap from Topo Export and bring it into Rayon Design for editing and stylizing. Now, let's set it up for presentation. Having got the site plan into Rayon and now refine the aesthetic, I want to place it on a sheet. So let me talk to you about that. So the site plan is currently in the model canvas. So you can see there, model canvas. I want to create a paper canvas. So this is how you set up a sheet. So paper canvas, it will say your paper canvas doesn't contain any pages. So we can create a page. I can say that's an A4. I could say that's portrait or landscape. And this piece of paper will be 1:1. So this is drawing at full scale. Just like in your model canvas, you're drawing a 1:1. So next step is to look in the Rayon block library. So I'm a big fan of the Rayon block library. It has a variety of so many different blocks. So over 10,000 top, front and side views of different blocks. So things from animals, bathrooms, bathtubs, chairs, dentist office equipment, heating, cooling, gym, anything you could want exists in the block library. So take this double bed, for example, I can just drag that in and I can look at the different views I've got. So I've got a front view, a side view, and a top view. So I know when I'm creating my plan section and elevations, that element is matching, spot on. But in this instance, I want to have a look at the title block. So alongside all different things about furniture, they also have elements of annotation and title sheets. So let's scroll down to title sheets, title blocks and annotations. There we go. And I can find A3 title block here. If I couldn't find it, I could use the search function. So I could say A3 title, for example, just drag one of these in. The really helpful thing is that I can edit these blocks myself as well. So I could go in, I could, you see here it's got a pre-populated element, so I could go in, I could change the logo for my own business, I can adapt the sheet as I want, and I can resave that as a block or share it to my own company. So once that's set up, I can now find a view. So from layers, I go to view, which is here, and I get a view from my model canvas. So I'm basically taking a look at my model canvas at a certain size. So you see here, it adds in a window and I can set a scale. So we want 2,500, for example. So that sets my building. So I could then crop this view. So I can crop my window down, a closer up view there. And then maybe I can create another view at a much smaller scale here, for example. I'll call this 1:10,000, for example. Get that cropped nicely. And you can see there, got our different drawing types. You can also see that the line types scale with the view. I can go into different layers and find things though. So say, for example, for that view, that solid line looked a bit too much. I can turn that off. With the drawing looking good, I can go in and I can edit the title block, for example. So I could delete these elements and I could import, for example, my standard logo. So that's just a PNG with a transparent background. You can bring that in and scale it, and then that sits as part of that block family that I can reuse again. I can even add parameters to the sheet. So you can see down here, I could add a parameter that allows me to have a different drawing sheet number. For example, I could have some text that says drawing sheet, and then I could say, we're going to add a instance property over here, create a new one. So we call that drawing number, set that to a number, value, save that, go back into my block. I can delete this text and I can add a variable. Go to instance, find my drawing number. There we go, press OK. And that means that when I go into this bar on the side, I can change my drawing number and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that will update on my drawing sheet. And that means that when I reuse that title sheet again and again, I just need to fill in that instance property on the right hand side. Perfect. The other thing I want to show you is that Rayon comes with a whole host of templates. So if I go back to my account, I can jump down here to templates. You can see here that it has so many different types of drawings already set up. So from detailed elements like millwork drawings to floor plans for different types of buildings, technical plans. So what I want to find today is their site analysis symbols. So I'll bring those in and I'll just scale them up and see them there. And we have things from being able to identify different transport links, different elements of facilities, park elements, north points, different arrows, prevailing wind directions, sun paths, all the different things that you might need when analyzing a site. So we can very quickly just drag and drop these things onto our page. We can add a prevailing wind direction here, maybe some transport link icons as well. And as long as we make sure that these are all on our top layer, when we go back to our drawing set, I can make sure that they're turned off in this view, so it doesn't muddy up our sort of site location drawing, but is shown on our more detailed plan. You know, if we wanted to, we could even add in a new view of the model canvas that specifically looks at this window and acts as a bit of a key for your drawing set. And then we can just add titles to each of the drawings. So we could say this is a site location plan, 1 to 10,000. And just like with all the other styles, I could, you know, change my text style, I can change the font, I can change the size, any element like that, and I could save that as titles, for example, and that means that whenever I go back in, I know that each of these things matches. So now let's export the drawing. So we can export the drawing in multiple different ways. So one is the traditional export. So we can export an image, so that could just be as a PNG, so I can determine the quality, the stroke scale, so whether we're looking at the page or the screen, I would advise the page, and then give that a name. Alternatively, I can export it as a PDF. So again, I just set that to PDF. I can change the resolution, so high, medium or low, export the name, and then again, choose whether it's page or screen. But the really powerful thing in Rayon is to share the presentation. So I can go into share and I can do a number of things. So I can share my styles. So all those styles that I've set up, I can share those with the rest of my team. I could share my blocks, so publish those blocks that again that I've set up, like my title block for example. I can publish that and share that with the rest of my team, or I can share a presentation. That's really, really powerful. So I will publish this sheet as a presentation. So I just click on that toggle, that gives me a link, and I can copy that so I can send that in an email to a client. So ultimately that avoids all those things like having to export your PDF, upload it to a file transfer site, send the link. So all in here, I just need to send that link and I can open it directly from Rayon. So again, that just gives me a presentation ready, really beautiful looking drawing that's all within the browser. And the really, really powerful thing is if I go back and I say, oh, actually not sure about that one, let's move the key title over here. I've now updated that drawing, but I don't have to give another link. All I have to do is press this little update button. I can press update. The link remains the same, but the information on the link has been updated. So if you're giving links to your clients, they only need to look at those one links, not have to mess about between lots of different things. There we go. Thanks so much for watching. Try the workflow yourself using the links below and start turning your maps into polished presentations. If this was helpful, give it a like and check out our next tutorial on how AI can elevate your sitemaps.